So the UFC has recently made some new matchups in the bantamweight division, some of them being Song Yadong versus Rob Font, Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Chito Vera, and Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, in terms of the Umar and Sandhagen fight, the UFC is screwing over Sandhagen, and there's absolutely no reason for him to take this fight. He's number 4 at bantamweight, fighting against number 11. That to me is insane, and we know the reason why. The UFC don't want him in the title picture because he lost to Aljamain Sterling, the current champ, in dominant fashion, and he also lost to Petr Yan, who fought for a belt. So the UFC definitely wants Sandhagen out of the picture at bantamweight so that they can make room for these new up-and-comers or these new guys to have this huge big name matchup against O'Malley, because the UFC are kind of rigging that fight between him and Sterling. If you haven't watched my video on that already, here it is right here. Make sure to give that a view because it is a very interesting watch. Quick plug. But the UFC wants these new high-profile fights against O'Malley if he wins or even loses. Because if O'Malley loses, they're going to make him fight Chito Vera probably no matter what, win or loss. And if Cejudo wins and O'Malley wins, they're definitely going to fight for a belt. Even if Sandhagen does beat Umar, they want O'Malley to be the next McGregor. They want him to be their next superstar that can compete alongside with Israel Adesanya. They needed a huge name, and Sean O'Malley is that fighter to take that throne, to be the king of bantamweight in terms of name value. He already kind of is right now, but he would be an even bigger name and solidify himself as probably the top dog name value wise if he manages to upset the odds against Aljamain Sterling. And so with all of these new matchups, that leaves Sandhagen the odd man out. He drew the unlucky straw. He got the shortest stick out of the bunch, which I don't know why he even took the fight in the first place. Personally, if I was him, I probably would have waited out, but he's a savage. He wants to get right back in there and get himself another win against Umar. But this fight is a complete lose-lose for him. If he wins, it does nothing for him in the rankings. It does nothing for him in terms of getting a title shot besides being on another win streak. And if he loses everything. He loses his ranking, he loses his credibility, he loses his name value, and Umar will now supersede him as that top dog or the next guy to watch out for at bantamweight. It just is. The UFC are fully aware of this. They could have given him a Rob Font, or they could have given him Henry Cejudo. They could have done those matchups instead of giving him number 11 ranked Umar. So it's completely washed for Sandhagen. It's completely screwed for him. But I am excited to watch this fight. I think it's going to be a great one. And in terms of predicting it, I did a poll, I think about a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago. But the majority of people are in favor of Corey Sandhagen winning this matchup. And I could not agree more. We do not know how good Umar Nurmagomedov is just yet, and I feel like people are pretty much picking him based off of his last name. And I just checked the odds. Corey Sandhagen is a plus 185 underdog against Umar, who's a minus 215 favorite. That is almost ridiculous to me. That is blasphemy, in my opinion. There's no way that Corey Sandhagen should not be, at the very least, and I mean the very, very least, evens with Umar in this matchup. And back to what I said before, we don't know how good Umar is. He beat Raoni Barcelos, big fucking whoop. He beat Raoni Barcelos, who's not even ranked. They might just put him in the rankings just for Umar to look better. Raoni Barcelos is not a ranked fighter at bantamweight. I think before that he beat maybe Nate Maness. I don't remember exactly who he beat, but I definitely know he beat Nate Maness at some point. Nate Maness, also big fucking whoop. Who cares? Umar has not fought anybody who's been a decent competitor at bantamweight just yet. They could have given him a lot of other fighters at bantamweight, but they gave him number 4 Sandhagen because of his last name. Let's be honest here. If Umar's last name was not Nurmagomedov, he would not be fighting Corey Sandhagen this early in his career. Now, the main argument for Umar getting this quick jump up the rankings is because people are saying,
oh, nobody wants to fight him. People are ducking Umar.
People will fight him, let's be honest. And if Sandhagen actually didn't take this matchup, people would be saying, oh, he's ducking him. He's ducking Umar. Sandhagen does not want that smoke with Umar. But that couldn't be farther from the truth, even if it did happen, because he's number 11 ranked. Why would a number 4 guy fight a high-ranked number 11 Umar. That doesn't make much sense, but that is a different alternate universe argument. The fight is happening. It's happening August. It is 5 rounds, and I'm picking Sandhagen to win. I think he has definitely improved his grappling enough to be able to deal with it against Umar. And to be surprising, Umar is one of those guys who does like to strike on the feet, but I think if he does try to strike with Sandhagen, he will get picked apart and pieced up at range, so he's definitely going to grapple against him. And Sandhagen has definitely shown improvement in his grappling. He took down Vera, controlled him for the first, I think, 2 or 3 rounds, and pretty much nullified him and gave himself a really big advantage on the feet in the later rounds against Marlon Chito Vera. He attempted a few takedowns. I don't know if he got any against Song Yadong, I don't remember, but he attempted a few at least against Song Yadong. Didn't get any, but he was mixing it up against Song Yadong, and that tells me that he is definitely working on his grappling game and trying to improve that. And him taking this matchup against Umar tells me that he is confident in his grappling defense enough to be able to stop the takedowns and use his striking to his advantage on the feet. I don't think Umar will have what it takes to be able to take down and control Sandhagen and choke him out in the first round. And if he can't go 5 rounds, we don't know how good his cardio is just yet. We don't know. There's too many questions in the game of Umar to be confident that he's going to win against Sandhagen. And if you are confident in Umar winning, I need your argument in the comments right now. Tell me your argument and how you're so confident in Umar beating Sandhagen. He should not be a minus 215 favorite. Again, that is crazy to me that he's that big of a favorite when he hasn't beat anybody to give us any reasoning that he can beat Sandhagen in a 5-round matchup. I don't know. I'm going to do some more research about it. I do indeed feel bad for my man Sandhagen. I think he'll be able to get this one done, but again, it's a lose-lose for him. He will not gain anything from beating Umar, and he has everything to lose against Umar, but I think he'll be able to get this one done. I think he's too experienced, too skilled. He's in the prime of his career. I think he's at, 31, 32 maybe. He's somewhere in his prime of his career, so I don't expect him to lose against Umar, who is pretty green, pretty up and coming, hasn't fought the top competition just yet at bantamweight. So I do expect Corey Sandhagen to get this one done. I think I'm pretty confident in that. And if he does manage to beat Umar and O'Malley wins, I would not mind him getting the immediate title shot over Cejudo if he manages to beat a Chito Vera. Definitely sign me up for a championship fight between Sandhagen and O'Malley. That would be absolutely crazy. It'd be instant fireworks. We all want to see that matchup. We all kind of wanted Sandhagen and O'Malley to fight beforehand, before O'Malley even got his title shot against Sterling. So that would be a dream in itself if the fight does end up happening. But I don't know. I am definitely 100% worried that Sandhagen's career is going to be completely gone if he does lose. I think he's done too much work, too much effort to get back and improve his game to basically be washed and be nothing if he loses to Umar. That's kind of how it is. And the UFC knows this. They're planning this out. They were extremely strategic in every matchup they made because it all leads back to O'Malley. If Cejudo wins, he's fighting O'Malley, win or lose. If Chito wins, he's fighting O'Malley, most likely win or lose. They were extremely smart in the way that they made these matchups, and that left Sandhagen as the odd one out and the one person who would not benefit at all from fighting Umar. But that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys for watching to this point. If you have made it this far, Sandhagen, whatever, man. I'm out of here. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Peace.